ZIPR TV presents Southtown Comedy Club Radio with Roy Lopez Jr.
Hey folks, welcome to Southtown Comedy Radio. I'm your host, Roy Lopez Jr. And tell you what, before we get started here, I've got a very special guest in the house. But before we get started, I want to give you a rundown of what we got coming up. For instance, April the 4th, Saturday, April the 4th, we'll be at the Blue Star Brewery, where our headliner for that night was going to be none other than Dave May. Now, we're working on the schedules for May and June, but I want to give you those dates ahead of time. That's May 2nd and June the 6th, folks. You need to mark your calendars. Make sure you come on out to Blue Star on those days. I guarantee you we're going to have a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of laughs, my special guest today is Mr. Adrian Lucio. Adrian,
hey, Roy.
How you doing? Welcome.
You doing? Good. It's good to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. You and I have worked together for years and years and years now, putting on comedy shows. And I'll tell you what, I've got a list of questions I want to ask you. I didn't write them down, so they're going to be coming off the top of my head.
Those are always the best.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a little question-answer session. I'll answer the questions. You answer I'll ask the questions, you answer them. How's that?
Sounds
Does that
good
work?
to me, buddy. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Question number one. Almost sounds like a dating game,
It
right?
does. I feel-
Contestant number one. No, seriously. The first question, of course, I ask everybody is
Cinnamon.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. That's exactly what I was going to ask. I was going to say, what is your favorite flavor?
That's it.
You can answer before I answer the question.
I can.
It's like you're a clairvoyant. All right. What am I going to ask next?
How this date is going so far.
No.
Oh.
My question is, what got you into comedy?
You know, growing up, I've always been a funny kid, and I'm still funny looking.
Well, you're still a funny kid. Yes.
I would take it. No, growing up in the Rio Grande Valley originally is where it all started, and I've always been that wild child because I'm the middle child. And when you're the middle child, it's just that seeking attention.
I know a lot of middle children.
And my dad was a theater arts teacher at a high school. And
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
acting was always a big thing for him, and he's always been that goofball that, you know.
So basically, you're saying all these years he acted like your dad?
That's it, right? He took that role. No, so but yeah, and then what had happened was I moved up to San Antonio in 2010.
Okay, excuse me. It's San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
San Antonio. I apologize for that.
No, that's right. All right.
so-
People from out of town have to understand when in Rome, you know.
Say Rome. Okay. But no, I moved here in 2010, and I caught my first comedy show with a guy. Went to go see a guy at the comedy club named Zee Rodriguez. And
Cleto what?
Zee Rodriguez.
What is a cleto?
It sounds like something in Mexican food.
Actually, I think it's something you might have stepped in.
Right? Sounds like.
Oh, man.
But I went to go see Zee Rodriguez, and I was just blown away by the comedy club atmosphere because you don't
nice,
get that back at
nice.
home.
Are you saying there's no comedy clubs in Harlingen?
Well, just in the valley in general. There is now. Back
okay.
then it was there was not much going on.
Did you have anything to do with that?
No.
No. Okay.
I started from point blank up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say that I've watched you progress, and it seems like every time you perform, you just get better and better. I mean, to a point where you're actually featuring a lot more often, and even headlining some shows.
Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been a wild ride for sure.
Well, the next question, and this always comes from our viewers. The first question out of their mouth is always, "How much do we get paid?" I'll tell you my standard answer is, "Hey, don't quit your day job."
That's it.
But those of you like yourself, I notice it. It seems like every time I look into a comedy show, you're there. So you're either getting the gigs or you're funny, because otherwise they wouldn't be booking you.
Or you must not go to a lot of comedy shows.
Oh well, that could be. That could answer that. Well, that's good. Okay. So you're into comedy.
Absolutely.
You're what's on the horizon for you?
Oh man, hopefully. One of the biggest things I enjoy what I do. I love doing stand-up, and I eat, sleep, and breathe stand-up comedy. It's my life at this point. And one of the biggest things that bothers me, and people always ask me, so how's that comedy thing going?
It's the way they ask you,
yeah,
right?
they act like it's a hobby. It's like, so what's your plan B if comedy doesn't work out? It's like, I'm going to die. Basically, that's how it goes. We do this until...
Do you get asked that age-old question, hey, you're a comedian, right? And tell me a joke?
Tell me a joke. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get it all the time. So
Yeah, well.
it's just, got to have something in stock or... what I even like better is when you tell them a joke and they're like, that's not funny.
Come on.
Or, how is that funny? It's like, well, then don't go see me. I don't need you.
That's when they tell you, get a day job.
That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
They tell you just the opposite. Well, that's amazing. Now, I think you got a show coming up pretty soon here, right around the corner.
No, absolutely. May 15th, Coffee House Live. That's going to be a good one.
Coffee House Live, May 15th in San Antonio?
It's in Universal City.
Universal City.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's got a lot going on for it.
Now, one of the things I've noticed that kind of separates you or differentiates you from a lot of the other comedians, your comedy is clean.
Absolutely.
Is there a reason for that?
Yes. Just the fact that I guess before I moved up to San Antonio, I became a born-again Christian. And ever since I moved up here, I guess that's one of the reasons why...
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but... before you moved to San Antonio, you became a born-again Christian.
Absolutely.
Was that kind of a ritual? Hey, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave the valley. I want to leave everything behind me. I'm going to be a whole different person.
Yeah, absolutely. You could say that for sure.
Okay, so if you're a born-again Christian, do you start celebrating your birthday when you're born again?
No.
Okay,
I do celebrate it. I know the exact day.
So you don't go down. So you don't lose age like that.
No,
okay.
no, not at all.
Right,
Yeah,
all right.
it's another day to eat cake for me, I suppose. I mean,
Well,
we can
there you
add it
go.
as one, but yeah, it was actually July 18th. I still remember it. So
Wow,
it's a good day.
I can't remember last time I changed my underwear.
So.
Sheesh, you're good with dates.
So,
That's good.
but yeah,
That's good.
whenever I came up here to do stand up, that was just a big thing. Was obviously just to stay true to my morals and values, and I love stand up, and I always find that creativity to me is funnier than crude. So I know I have a good set when I can go to a comedy club or somewhere and still be who I am and still rock an audience.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, buddy. Blue comedians are a dime a dozen.
Absolutely.
It's very rare to find somebody who can actually make a living doing clean comedy.
Sure.
And in my opinion, because you're clean, it opens up a lot of doors out there. I
So
mean, you
many.
could do churches, you could do corporations, you can do comedy in places that a blue comedian, and when I say blue, I don't mean the color blue. I mean the fact that they
Sure.
use curse words or vulgarity in their sets. And any comedian, in my opinion, can do that. But to come out and actually tell jokes and be clean, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's
without
hard
question.
to refrain from, especially, I know some of these guys, and that's how they talk normally. So that, they're limited to certain, say, nightclub situations or comedy clubs are the only place that they can take their comedy to.
And that's one of the beauties of it too, is I've seen almost every single kind of venue. I mean, when we got started, we formed a group together called Door to Door Comedy.
Yeah, I
And
remember
that's originally
that. I
how it got
remember that.
started.
Uh-huh.
And we started at apartment complexes.
Really?
Oh yeah. And
So what'd you do? Go from apartment to apartment? Like singing telegrams?
No, we would
Knock on the doors. Hello, would you like to hear a joke?
Absolutely. Mormons. But no, that wasn't the case. We did apartment complex clubhouses.
Oh, okay.
We found
All
this
right.
out.
That makes sense. That makes
Apartment
sense.
complexes apparently need to have budgets for their entertainment, so we were just a hired entertainment a lot of
That's
times.
nice. That's
And some
nice.
of them took it very nice. They had like margarita machines, and it was a lot of cool things. And then some, it was like we were babysitters. Like they brought all their kids to these events, and we were just like,
and that makes sense that they felt comfortable enough that they could do that.
Oh, it's a
It's very rare
beautiful
that you
thing.
see kids at a comedy show.
Absolutely.
I got another question. Do you everybody's got a favorite actor, a favorite comedians? I'm sure have a favorite comedian. Who do you think is one of your favorites, or who was an influence in your life? Anybody in particular?
Yes, Don Rickles.
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. I love Don Rickles.
The man, the legend.
Yes, Mr. Warmth, absolutely. I love Don just because of the fact that you can get he can get right up in your face, but it's one of the most beautiful, awesome things. If you get heckled by Don Rickles, you've made it.
You know what? It's very rare that he'll he'll put somebody down, but they don't get mad.
No,
because
not
they
at all.
understand that that's part of
Absolutely.
his.
And he's one of the nicest guys in the business. So.
Oh, I believe it. Now I understand you got an opportunity coming up about.
I do. Yes,
what's going on?
I got personally invited to go see Don Rickles.
Are you serious?
By Don, yeah, absolutely. And so that's an exciting thing, especially when one of
great.
your heroes invites you. It's just
Well, that's fantastic. Well, listen, Adrian, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I also want to extend an invitation to you to something that's coming up here pretty soon on Sunday, June 21st. In association with the Blue Star Brewery and the Alzheimer's Association, we're going to have the first annual comic marathon. I want you to be a part of that. I haven't named it yet, but I don't know. We're looking at Comic-Con, Comic-Thon, I don't know. We're going to work on that name a little bit later.
Bring your thongs?
Well, no. Leave those at home. No thong. It's a no thong day. How's that?
Gotcha.
But it's a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association. I've invited TV personality from WAI and Fox TV, Zee Rodriguez, to either help me out with the MC duties or come out and tell a few jokes. But I'm actually going to pass out that invitation not only to you, but every comedian in San Antonio who wants to come out and help with this worthy cause. So once again, thank you, Adrian.
I appreciate your time.
coming
It's
on
always
out
a pleasure,
today.
man.
Shout out to our producer, Richard Zee Rodriguez. And just a reminder, folks, April the 4th, May the 2nd, June the 6th, please log those in. Look onto our website to get information about future shows and any upcoming events that we might be sponsoring. And that website is southtowncomedy.com. I want you to make sure that you come out to the Blue Star Brewery for those comic shows. This is Roy Lopez Jr. from Southtown Comedy Radio. Here's Laughing at You.
Southtown Comedy Club Radio with Roy Lopez Jr.